Well, hello everyone, it is Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're talking about how I just purchased 2 more cars and how I went completely against the advice of YAA, Your Advocate Alliance. In a lot of their videos, they have been saying that you shouldn't buy a car right now. Now is the worst possible time to buy a car, and I think that they even have a website that says do not buy cars right now, something like that. Hilarious. And well, we're going to talk about why I'm not following their advice and why you potentially shouldn't go with that either. But before we get in this video, as always, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. And then if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. Let's get into it. So first off, we have to go over the 2 vehicles that I just recently purchased. And if you're wondering, I purchased both of these vehicles last month in December. Now, funny enough, I didn't take delivery of both these vehicles until January. Both of the dealerships wanted to do all of the paperwork before the end of the year, probably for end of the year closing and everything. But regardless, I finally have both of them. So the first one that I purchased is this 2022 Shelby GT500 Mustang. This one has the carbon fiber track pack, so you guys can see tons of carbon, even the wheels are carbon fiber. And let me tell you, having a car with carbon fiber wheels is nerve-wracking because although this package is $18,000 extra from the factory, if you curb just one of these wheels, you'll have to spend $6,000 to replace a wheel. So this has $24,000 in wheels on it. So the factory actually gives you a good deal on the package. But regardless, this is the first vehicle that I purchased last month. And now it's a lot darker because I'm outside, and yes, it is nighttime. I film these videos at like 11, 12 o'clock at night because I do it after I'm done filming the car reviews and editing those. But anyways, this is the other vehicle that I purchased. I actually ordered this about, I think like 6 to 8 months ago for my wife. It is a 2023 Land Rover Defender. This one is the SE package, but it has the Explorer pack on it. That's why you have this like pack on the side, and then you got like the rack there. There's a snorkel on the other side. It's basically like a souped up off-road SUV. And like I said, I just took delivery of this one actually just a few days ago. But this is a vehicle that apparently should depreciate a massive amount because it's a Land Rover. But we're actually going to talk about that in today's video because this is actually the Land Rover that kind of breaks the general trend. But those are the vehicles that I just purchased within literally the last month. So now that you've seen the 2 vehicles that I just purchased last month, I want to go over everything with the car deals. So I want to talk about, what I paid for the vehicles. I want to talk about why I purchased the vehicles and why I purchased vehicles at the time that I purchased them. Because again, we are currently going through the car market collapse, and so it wouldn't really make sense to purchase a vehicle during, again, the car market collapse. So first off, with the Defender, I traded in my wife's Toyota 4Runner TRD Pro, and I broke even on that vehicle. I didn't lose any money on that trade, so I thought that was great. And if you're wondering why I traded in that vehicle, it's because I started to see the values on the TRD Pros slip a little bit. A lot of dealers went from charging over MSRP for TRD Pros to charging MSRP or even under MSRP in some cases, and so the used values just weren't there anymore. And so I basically got out while the getting was still good on that vehicle, and so my wife got to drive a 400 TRD Pro for 6 months completely for free. Now the next part of the deal is with the Defender itself. So I didn't pay any markups on the Defender. There are a lot of Land Rover dealers that'll charge anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000, maybe even $30,000 over MSRP for a new Defender, especially with how I have mine spec'd out, which I think is crazy, but that's just the luxury car world sometimes. And so because I didn't pay any markup on the Defender, I'm actually in a really good position with that particular vehicle. Right now in my particular market, I could probably sell it for, $5,000, $10,000, maybe even $15,000 over original MSRP. As soon as I put a lot of miles on the car, that, amount would go away. But you can get a pretty big price premium for Defenders. Now, if I went to like the California market, I might even be able to make a little bit more money on the car. So I basically took myself from a situation where I was break even on a car and about to lose money because of where values were going to now I'm technically positive in the car. Now, I don't have any plans of selling the Defender because we actually plan on keeping this vehicle for the next 2, 3, 4 years at max because, well, 4 years is how long the warranty lasts for, and I don't want to own a Land Rover product out of warranty. Like, I like the vehicles they make, but, like, it's a Land Rover at the end of the day. And on top of that, I do think that Defender resale value, although strong today, I think it might potentially slip a little bit because Land Rover is just building so many different versions of the Defender that I ultimately definitely think it could potentially water down the product a little bit because there's so many different choices to choose from that people are going to be like, I don't know which one to get, right? But I do think that the one that I got is going to be a desirable choice today and down the road, because most people want the 4-door because practicality. Even though car enthusiasts will say they want the 2-door, that one just doesn't sell. Like the Land Rover dealership that I film for doesn't charge any markups on their vehicles, and whenever they get 2-doors in, they can't really sell them. If they get a 4-door in, it's sold instantly. And the regular 4-door, frankly, just looks a lot better than the 130, and it's also able to be taken off-road because it's not extremely long and all that. So resale value in the long term, I think, is going to be great. And so with that purchase, overall, it's definitely a net positive. And this is something that I have been preaching on this channel, is if you're patient and if you find the right dealership, then you can get really good deals that are significantly under market value. So then even if the market declines by a substantial amount, then you'll still be okay. I mean, like worst case scenario with this Defender after a year, even if the market declines by another 20%, I'm pretty much going to be at like a break even with the car. And I don't think that's bad at all. Now with the GT500 deal on the trade-in, I got a really good deal on the trade-in that definitely helped sweeten the overall deal. And then when it came to the car that I purchased, I didn't pay any markups on it. I got a GT500 track pack with no markup. And frankly, when I bought the original GT500 that I traded for this one, I got a screaming deal on that one as well. So it was definitely a win-win overall. But again, diving into the track pack, current market value on that car where I live is like $30,000 over original MSRP, which, trust me, I think it's just as crazy as you guys, but that's how it is. And so if I just wanted to get out of the car today, like I didn't want to have to deal with selling it, there are multiple dealers that would be more than happy to pay me anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000 over original MSRP. And again, I didn't pay any markup on the car. So this is another vehicle that I'm in a really good position in. So even if, again, the used car market or the used market on this particular car decides to decline by 20% this year, which most likely it's not, because, well, first off, the GT500 is discontinued. And, well, the last time that Ford released a new Mustang, it took them 5 years to release the GT500 version. Like 2015 was the last, version of the Mustang when it was initially released, and 2020 was the first GT500. And so there's going to be a pretty big gap between now and the next GT500. So it's going to push those values to hold. But let's just say the market declines by 20%. Yeah, that would get rid of a lot of my profits. But worst case scenario, again, just like the Defender, I'm pretty much going to be breaking even because of the vehicle that I purchased. And I guess quickly diving into the reason that I purchased the track pack and the reason that I purchased GT500, well, I work a lot and I finally decided to treat myself a little bit, and so that was one of the main reasons why I got this car. I just want like a fun weekend car where if I'm not filming car reviews, I can just go and just enjoy myself a little bit. And that's also the reason why I got the track pack, is I wanted something that was just crazy, over the top, ridiculous, that I have no desire to daily drive, so that like when I drive it, it's going to be experienced every single time, and that's pretty much it. And I do have a sneaking suspicion that although the track packs are kind of soft in the market right now, I think that they're going to firm up in a little bit, because that's exactly what happened with the GT350. If you look at a regular Shelby GT350, you can get one for pretty cheap at this point. But if you want to get a GT350R, you have to pay a pretty big price premium. They're still selling for original MSRP, and a lot of them are selling for over original MSRP. And so I think the same thing's going to happen with this GT500 track pack, because right now, like I said, a lot of people are scared of the carbon fiber wheels, and people did the same thing with the GT350 when it was brand new. Like GT350Rs would sit on dealer lots because people were scared of the carbon fiber wheels. But once the car got discontinued, everyone's like, I want the R, I want the carbon fiber wheels, I want the crazy version, right? And so I definitely see the same thing happening with this car as well. And so that was kind of another reason why I got the track pack. But it drives quite a bit different from the regular one. It's just an absolute blast. And so I'm glad I get to own one. And now this leads me into talking about YAA and their advice to not buy a car right now, because obviously I'm not following their advice. And before I dive into this, I first want to say that I really like their channel. I watch almost all their videos. I make sure to like all of them, and their advice is rock solid. Like 99% of what they say, actually 99.9999% of what they say is rock solid. And for the average consumer, like, they're going to save you a lot of money. Like, just if you just watch their content, and they obviously have all of their services and everything behind them. I can't comment on their services because I've never personally used them. But judging by the content they produce on YouTube, I'm assuming that the services are going to be really good as well. But regardless, with that being said, I will say that not everyone should not buy a car right now, if that makes sense. Because obviously, I just went and bought 2 more cars. Like, if I was following their advice and if I was following the market trends, then I wouldn't have bought cars. But like, there are a lot of cars that you can buy still today that are just not going to follow the normal car market trends. Now, yes, if you buy a regular run-of-the-mill, boring crossover SUV, right now, you're probably going to lose quite a bit of money, because the chances of you finding a good deal right now are slim to none, unless you have master negotiating skills and you know exactly what you're doing when you go into the dealership to where you can get a deal under MSRP. But not the average consumer can't do that. The average consumer is going to go in, the dealership's going to say this vehicle is MSRP or it's over MSRP because we added our nitrogen-filled tires, whatever it may be, and then you're going to drive the vehicle off the lot, and with the market declines that we're seeing, you're going to lose a ton of money. But if you have any level of experience within the car market in terms of, how to put a deal together, and then also knowing what to buy within the car market, then right now can actually be a pretty good time to buy, because there are certain vehicles that just, like I said, they're not going to follow market trends. And so the whole, idea of being able to drive a car for free, like that existed last year, that existed the year before, that's existed pretty much since the beginning of the automobile, and it exists today as well. So to summarize, despite YAA telling me every single day that I shouldn't buy a car and I should just wait for the car market to collapse, I couldn't help myself. I guess I have a car addiction. I decided to buy 2 more cars, and I'm probably going to buy another car in the next couple of months. I'm still not completely sold on the idea, but I will most likely be buying another car in the next couple months. And so yes, like I said earlier in the video, for 99.99% of consumers, buying a car right now is probably not the most ideal situation with where pricing currently is, with a lot of vehicles where they're still being sold for over MSRP, or the asking price at least is over MSRP, and where interest rates are higher. But if you happen to know a little bit about the car market and you know where to find deals, right now can frankly be a great time to buy. And I feel like I'm starting to sound like my friend Chandler David Smith over in the real estate world, because he always talks about how he buys real estate no matter what's happening in the market, because he knows where to find the deals. And the car world, frankly, is a very similar situation. If you build the right relationships within the dealership world, then you can find deals when they come along. Again, no matter what the car market is doing. So if you're looking at vehicles that are consistently marked up over MSRP, that are not your regular run-of-the-mill boring crossovers, that are not going to have good resale value, understand that if you just do a bit of research, then you can find those vehicles for pretty good deals. Like with the GT500, I bought that one out of Texas. Now with the Defender, I bought that locally because Land Rover is regionally locked, and I happen to be lucky that the Land Rover dealership that I have local here in Utah does not charge markups over MSRP. Some people are not lucky, so that one obviously not the best example, but I feel like the GT500 is a great example, because there's a lot of Ford product that gets marked up over MSRP. The Ford F-150 Lightning, the Ford Raptor, the regular Bronco, the Bronco Raptor, the Ford Maverick. And I'm just going to tell you right now that if you do your research, if you do your due diligence, you can find all of those vehicles I just listed at MSRP at certain Ford dealers. And not only at MSRP, you can find them like available to purchase within a reasonable time frame. You just have to be willing to look. That's the advice for today's video. And again, shout out to the YAA guys. I guess I kind of used them for a little bit of YouTube clout in today's video, but I will continue to watch their videos, but not necessarily take their advice, because, well, I guess I like to take risks when the car market's collapsing. Anyways, that's it.